The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Yes, Mr. Insufferable is here as well. Jeremy Greene joining us on this Monday morning live in the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. Be sure to check them out, especially if you got things to buy for the holidays. Beer is a great gift. You can also get all the gear at WickedWeedGear.com. And don't forget, Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different. Yes, it is Gloat Fest morning for Jeremy Greene because, Cam Newton, he did that thing. He did that thing that we all knew he was capable of doing. Go ahead.
It's I have one question, and I feel, that I'm not planning on taking a victory lap. I'm not. I just want to ask a very simple question that I was told a litany of times when Carolina signed Cam Newton. Was that more fun for you? Because if it was, you are a sadomasochist. Because that was a fucking disaster. Mm-hmm. That's as bad as a quarterback can play. And before you say, oh, nobody could be good behind that offensive line. Well, somebody was for 4 weeks. Sam Darnold, that guy that you invested draft capital in, he was good behind that. Joe Brady could call plays. Matt Rule wasn't the dumbest human on the planet. All of those things were a thing. This is what I tried to tell you. Nobody wanted to listen to me. Stick your fingers in your ears. Oh, Super Cam, I'm back. Ah! That was fun for the 9 seconds that it lasted, wasn't it? Was that fun for you? Because frankly, yesterday was more fun for me than it could possibly have ever been for you.
Yes, we all know that you were very, very thrilled to see Cam Newton go out there and just completely lay an egg.
And it's not that it was thrilling for me. It's that it's insanely predictable. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because he's still the same inaccurate quarterback that he was 3 years ago. This is still the same guy that you ran out of town on a rail 3 years ago. Nothing's different. He didn't get better. Mm-hmm. Now he's in a system he doesn't know that does not placate to him.
It's bad when your stat line looks like a date that you would put on a tax form.
He
was 5 of 21 for 2 interceptions, 92 yards. It was a god-awful offensive performance by everybody. Once again, the offensive line didn't block. Once again, he had receivers dropping balls. It's just that this is not a good team. It's not a good team, and Cam Newton is not a good quarterback. And now everybody just wants to completely tear down everything. I saw that a lot on Twitter. Let's just blow it all up.
Fire Matt Rule. Okay, I have to say it. First of all, Cameron Shaw, we're like an AA meeting for sports. Good to see you, Cameron. He asked, how do I obtain a mug? They will be on our website this week. We have some very cool. They have so they got the logo that goes all the way around. It is. He's asking how you get a mug in the chat. It's the join button, right below the.
Yes,
I thought he meant a mug like ours.
Obviously, you've already subscribed to the channel. All you got to do is just hit that little join button right next to the subscribed.
And we're going to start seeing new colors in that this week. Our first month rollovers, our little AA tokens. Our first ones will be rolling out this week.
Right.
All right, but back to the Matt Rule thing. Because I have to say this. I've heard a litany of Panther fans say, oh, fire Joe Brady, oh, fire Matt Rule. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say something, and this is going to cut much deeper than I have said, than anything I've said about Cam Newton.
Oh, dear.
This is what I tried to tell you. Because now you're stuck with him. Oh, he won't be the starter next year. The fuck he won't. The fuck he won't. Because you've already run Sam Darnold out on a rail. You can't go back to Sam. Mm-hmm. Sorry, fan base turned on him. You think it was bad yesterday? Think about how bad it would have been if that had been in Bank of America.
Right.
And now, here's the ugly truth. Nobody would want your job. All right, you fire Matt Rule. Who you think's signing up for this? Mm-hmm. Who do you think is jumping up and down to go, all right, let's go work for that owner that the first sign of strife, you ran back to the ex-girlfriend? I'm good. Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm good. And you mark my words, I've already heard this from 2 people that are exponentially smarter than me. Matt Rule may be the next coach at Oklahoma.
I was going to say, but what hurts worse? What hurts worse with this franchise? The fact that Matt Rule will leave and go back to college? Because I think that's a great possibility. As you just said, he'd take the Oklahoma job. Maybe so. Maybe James Franklin ends up leaving Penn State, and that job opens.
James Franklin can't get out of that deal.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
James Franklin's at Penn State forever. And there's something
to that. The buyout for his contract is only like $12 million.
Not this year, it's not. Not this year, it's not. He ain't getting out of that deal for 3 years minimum.
Okay.
James Franklin's going to be at Penn State.
Right.
And there's something that you have to think about that. Matt Rule, the job that we all thought he would take is the mama call to Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
That job's not opening, and he knows that. So now if he looks around, okay, because Oklahoma's first call, and we'll get into the Lincoln Riley thing. We'll talk more about that this afternoon because I have just don't talk sometimes. That's Lincoln. That's just okay. Just don't say anything. Just go. They played College Baton Rouge. It was fun. Good. You got me. Doot.
Lincoln, well played, sir. Well played.
I said I wasn't going to the next coach at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I did not say anything about USC. You see, the letters are different. I put them in a different order, and it made me not look like a liar.
But my question remains, what hurts worse? The fact that Matt Rule could leave this job and go take the job at Oklahoma, or if they do fire Matt Rule?
Well, I'm not sure you're.
What hurts more in the next coach looking to take over this job? If Matt Rule said no to this job, does that make it less likely that I'm going to take the job? Or do I not want to go play for an owner who's going to cut a guy loose 2 years after?
Well, here's the thing. This is still a job in the NFL. So I'm not saying that nobody's going to take it. They're not going to have me coaching this team.
No, you could always go get David Culley.
Who's not getting fired in Houston, by the way. The problem is that you're going to have to overpay for that high-end coach. And then you're going to be beholden to that coach. That's the problem with doing this chase your tail thing that David Tepper seems to be doing. There's I want you to think about the smartest teams in sports, the smartest teams in the NFL. Mm-hmm. What do they never do?
Panic.
They never panic.
Mm-hmm.
They never make the signing or the hire or the whatever the case may be. And this is what David Tepper has to learn as an owner. Kevin Vick. Okay, I have to. Okay, I have to do this. I love you like a brother.
Uh-huh.
If you ever compare Matt Rule to Adam Gase again, my blood will come out of my fucking ears. All right, you've had 4 bad weeks of Matt Rule. I had 3 years of Adam Gase, and Adam Gase, I could argue, was not the worst coach that I've ever lived through. If this is your Jet moment, consider yourself so lucky. Matthew Hoffman, I know him to be a great Jets fan. I actually saw him at the social yesterday with his very adorable child, by the way. If that's the worst that you're going to do, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with a rich co-type, then come talk to me, okay? Deal with, you play to win the game. Get that said to you, I don't know, 10,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
Then come to me.
Oh, no, Kevin Vick says he sucked last year, too, so he's seen more of sucking from Matt Rule than just 4 games.
No, you saw a rebuilding coach, which is exactly what he is. There's a reason. I got news for you. All right, I want you to think about what I'm going to say. If Matt Rule was let go by the Panthers, how long would it be before he got another job?
Not long at all.
8 minutes. It would be 8 minutes before a litany of places were calling. NFL, college.
Chicago Bears.
I like him better than Matt Nagy. It's not close.
Mm-hmm.
The problem here is not Matt Rule. It's not. He's not the problem. The problem is not Joe Brady.
It's your personnel.
The problem is that your personnel is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what you have to have when you have a level of Patrick Holt said, Jay Gruden has entered the chat. Jay Gruden, he did some things that you're not supposed to. Maybe don't drink Natty Lights with a bunch of frat girls or sorority girls. That's it doesn't end well for you.
I don't think it was the beer that got him in trouble, but okay.
Yeah, it was what happened after the beer. It was more of an assumption than it was anything.
Well, I was talking about the weed photos.
That didn't help him either. At the end of the day, yesterday was a comedy of errors. It's not just Cam. Cam's the easy one for me to point at because, and for me to point at it, it's not. what gets me with the Cam Newton thing is that you thought that was going to fix all of your problems. It was never going to fix all your problems. If anything, it exacerbated them. And so now it's, Matt Rule's the problem. Joe Brady's the problem. Okay, so what's the alternative? Adam Black said in the comments, my issue is that the young team is not improving. But they are. There are young pieces that are improving. Derek Brown is a good player. Brian Burns is a good player. Shaq Thompson's fine. Dante Jackson sucks. I've told you that for 2 years. He is a bad NFL football player. But and Adam Black said they're getting blown up by bad teams. And here's what I was trying to tell you. I'm not a Sam Darnold apologist. I'm not. I believe in the talent. I still believe in the talent. I got mocked for people saying that, Sam Darnold's more talented than Cam Newton. He is, and it's not even fucking close. It's not even in the ballpark. Cam Newton is not in the stratosphere of Sam Darnold. He's not. And if you take away the name on the jersey and watch the two of them play, because I could do that. There is a way for me to do that where I can sponge out who the quarterback is. I promise you would not watch 10 plays of Sam Darnold and 10 plays of Cam Newton and go, the second one was better. You wouldn't.
Right.
And so you just get to a point where it's like, okay. Adam Blake said the alternative is to get a pro coach. Okay. And that comes back to my point. Who? Who that you think that has high-level options is going to take this job? All right, first of all, you're one of the smallest media markets in the NFL. You have an owner that has already shown himself to be, yes, he has more money than God. They all do. If you're an owner in the NFL, do you know what it takes to be an owner in the NFL? Do you know what no. How much money?
Shitload of money.
How much money?
$7 billion.
You have to have $5 billion net liquid to be an NFL owner. $5 billion in net liquid to even be considered. The money's good. The money's great. It's all well and good that you got an owner with more money than God. That's a good thing. You know what he needs to do now? Let Scott Fitterer do this. Because I promise you, and I don't know Scott Fitterer personally, I don't. I know enough people that do. He never signed off on this Cam thing. That was David Tepper. Stay the fuck out of it. Because now you've already made yourself, you're not Jerry Jones, but you're also not the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, I don't care how crazy Jerry Jones is. It's still one of the 5 most alluring jobs in all of sports. Carolina doesn't have that. You got to understand that.
What pro coach would take this job?
There are a litany of them that would.
Okay.
It's not the one that you want.
Who?
Who would take it?
Yeah. Because I got a name that's going to thrill Carolina Panthers fans.
Oh, God.
Pat Shurmur. That's a pro guy who would take this job.
You could do better than that.
I think you could do maybe a little better than that. But that's the line of coach that you're looking at of a pro coach.
Adam Black said Tepper has apparently kept his hands off. Bullshit. Bullshit. You can piss on my leg and tell me it's raining all you want to, but I'm going to ask you why it's warm.
I mean, do you honestly believe
there's no way that the football people looked at this. And I want you to think about what I'm here to say. There are 31 other organizations in this league. Every one of the football guys looked at this and went, fuck off. We're not doing this. The money was insane. Oh, it's incentives and all these other things. Yeah, you know what most of the incentive is? That he's on the roster. I could argue the best decision you could make right now, cut bait.
Yeah. Do you honestly believe that whole Matt Rule story of I just wandered into the office on Monday and thought, and make this team better? Cam Newton. Yeah, no, that's not how that went down.
I don't buy it.
Somebody said we need to sell tickets. Y'all need to do something to inject some life into this franchise. And guess what? There's a quarterback sitting out there not doing anything that our fans will not shut up about. We can bring him in and inject some life into this team at the end of the season. And what did you get?
The thing. There are teams that do this all the time. This is Cam Newton, the best example I can get, and I know we spent way more time on this than we planned on. The Cam Newton signing was a lot like the bobblehead night at a Tampa Bay Rays game. It'll get fans in the stadium. It doesn't do anything to the product on the field. And there's more of a psychology to it that goes into this. I talk to a lot of people that work in this league, and I can tell you right now, and you know what? I could be totally wrong on how this happened. so far, I'm batting 1,000 with anybody that works in this league that I've talked to that said this was a David Tepper thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way it flies in the face of everything Scott Fitterer or Matt Rule have ever done. So perception is reality some of the time. How it actually happened doesn't really matter. It matters how people look at it. And people are looking at it going, David Tepper interjected himself into this, and now that becomes a problem. I firmly believe, and then we're going to get off this Panther thing because obviously we're going to talk about this afternoon.
Right.
I firmly believe that Matt Rule and Joe Brady are the best alternative that you have to keep program building because that's what he is.
Before we get off this, I do have to give props to Joshua Penix. They're dangerously close to being the next Chicago Bears. A great defense with their offense that needs to be a complete rebuild that's going to take multiple years. I think that's brilliant. I think it's a brilliant point. That's exactly what the Carolina Panthers are to me. The Chicago Bears. You got a good defense. Your offense cannot keep up. They cannot put up points. And that's about your ceiling. The problem is the Bears got something you don't. They've got a young developmental quarterback.
We have Mac Jones in the chat.
Yes!
I'm just throwing that out there. Mac Jones is in our chat. He said, I'm tuning in from school, and I'm not Mac Jones. My friend took my phone and changed it. Well, here's the thing. You change your YouTube name to Mac Jones, you invariably are going to get mentions on this show. And you also slide us right into our first overreaction of Overreaction Monday.
Mm-hmm.
The New England Patriots are a Super Bowl contender.
No, they're not. Come on.
Okay, I still believe this to be an overreaction.
Of course it's an overreaction. Everybody's flipping out because they're the number 2 seed in the AFC should the season end today.
That has nothing to do with what I'm going to say.
Okay.
This team is really good at doing what they're asked to do. Is it fun to watch? No, it's not. Oh, God, armchair. Oh, God, I love armchair so much.
What'd he say?
It's a super chat. Hold on. I got to get to the button. I'm going to use this button for today.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Armchair commentary said Steve Belichick and Matt Patricia are on their way, Panthers fans. I'm not going to lie to you. Steve Belichick be a great hire. The tongue work in and of it just by itself.
Stop that. Gross.
I really do that just to fuck with that, just because I know it just mortifies him.
It's disgusting. Steve Belichick. You just want everybody with a mullet to be a coach in the NFL.
Do. Mike Gundy. I've been all in.
Mike Gundy, Jamie Chadwell, Steve Belichick. Let's have the full mullet makeover in Charlotte. Bring them all.
I'm breaking a story on this show. I never break stories ever. Yeah. Jamie Chadwell will be the head coach of Virginia Tech in the next 48 hours.
Okay.
This is a new source, so if this burns me, I will never do it again.
I was going to say,
Jamie Chadwell will be the next coach at Virginia Tech.
Is this your usual Virginia Tech source?
No.
Okay.
No, Evan Doyle is usually my
That's
Virginia
what
Tech
I was
source.
thinking.
No.
Are you using him as an insider take now?
No, you gotta trace, the West Virginia connection to go down. But this is one that's never tried to break a story with me before. So, if this blows up in my face, sorry. But Jamie Chadwell's going to be the next coach of Virginia Tech.
I love it.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, all mulleted men should be coaches in the NFL, me included.
Would you take the Carolina Panthers job?
100% I would. 100% I would.
Even if they said you got to deal with Cam Newton.
Job in the NFL right now, I'm on it because I love traveling.
Even if they said you got to deal with Cam Newton.
No, because I wouldn't. Okay, there's one tenet of me taking this job. More mullets, less Newton. That's my rule.
Now that's a T-shirt. More mullets, less Newton.
100%. It's already done. It's already done. All right. I have to give a fait accompli. Everybody says I don't admit when I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm about to admit that I am wrong.
Okay.
I am wrong about the New England Patriots.
Yes, you are.
I am wrong that this team can't win a playoff game.
Yes.
I am. However, there's a big Stephen A. Smith, however, coming. They ain't a Super Bowl contender.
No, they're not.
Because at the end of the day, the path to beat New England has been laid out. The problem is that it's very hard to do that. And there's only a certain number of teams that can.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Buffalo Bills are one of them. I still think Buffalo wins the division. I still think New England makes the playoffs. And I will tell you that they are the team that will be a wild card that nobody wants to play. Mm-hmm. They're not as good offensively, but they're very good defensively. And it's going to be hard to throw them off. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones is a rookie. Rookies never win in the playoffs. It just never happens. But I will tell you as a Jets fan, I'm looking at this going, I don't love how this sets up for the long term. They sped themselves into hell about 2-3 years from now. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be an issue there. But this team's really good.
You look at all of the teams in the NFC in the AFC that we talk about being playoff contenders. They all have a major, major fatal flaw.
New England does not have a fatal flaw.
The New England Patriots don't, and that's what Bill Belichick has always been good at making sure that, are we lacking in certain areas? Sure. But we're also not going to fuck ourselves in the end of the day. This is going to be a well-coached team, a well-disciplined team. We're going to be accurate with the quarterback. We are going to run the football, and all we have to do is score as many more points than the other team. It's the only thing we have to do, and it's the only thing that matters day in and day out. And there's something to be said for that. Is it absolutely boring? Yes, it's absolutely boring.
Oh, it's boring as hell. And I think it has a ceiling. I have to do this. Hold on. I found the button. So this one's for Armchair.
I'm your huckleberry.
And this one's for Matthew Hoffman.
I'm your huckleberry.
Stop blaming coaches for veteran players making boneheaded mistakes. # leave rule alone. Mm-hmm. I can't disagree with anything you just said. I can't. Because there's a lot of that. Coaches are easier to blame than they are players.
Yep.
We wear players' jerseys. We don't wear jerseys of coaches.
Nope.
So that's why that happens invariably. Mm-hmm. But now, back to New England. Mm-hmm. New England is a team that I look at and go, can you win a playoff game? Yes. Can you win this way in the cold weather? Can you win this way on the road? The Bills losing Tre'Davious White is a big deal because that is a lot of how that defense runs. New England's not a Super Bowl contender. But damn, they're close. And, this is, to me, I don't even think it's close. This is Bill Belichick's greatest coaching job ever. And to me, it's not even close. Mm-hmm. Because this team is not really good.
I just want to mark the tape.
There are a lot of holes on this team.
We need to mark the tape 22 and a half minutes into the November 29th edition of the Sportsocracy. Jeremy said something nice about Bill Belichick. And you're right. You're absolutely right, because we have undersold this team. I mean, I tried to tell you this week this is not going to go the way you think it's going to go. Tennessee is not going to be able to compete with the New England Patriots. They have zero weapons. And Bill Belichick is too much of a gamesmith, game plan maker, that he is going to be able to neutralize everything that Tennessee wants to do, and that's exactly what they did. Now, here's the thing. New England is also terribly lucky because they got the Tennessee Titans when they had no weapons to play. That matters a lot to me. Do I think that New England is going to be able to go up in a matchup late in, with a completely healthy team on the other side of them in the playoffs, in the AFC Championship game, and take down Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo? No, I don't.
You're making the exact point that I was getting ready to throw out.
Okay.
For New England to win a game in the playoffs, you're going to have to tell me how Mac Jones is going to beat one of the following quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Take Ryan Tannehill out because he just beat him.
Yep.
Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I don't buy it. Mm-hmm. Because he's not of the tier of those guys. He's not. He's one of the best game managers you'll ever see. Mac Jones asked for our opinion on Damon Harris. I love him and have loved him forever. This team can run the ball really, really well. Mm-hmm. And they play really, really good defense. And Matthew Judon has been way better than I thought he was going to be.
Right, that was Jeremy's worst contract of the offseason.
No, Bud Dupree was my worst contract of the offseason. Yeah. And guess what? That has not
aged well.
Well, the Bud Dupree deal has not aged well because he has barely played. Mac Jones said, well, he already beat Herbert. Yeah, I get that. That's in November. All right. Rookies in the playoffs.
Not gonna matter.
And I'm not – look, we're going to get into the Chargers later. That's not a team that I'm really sold on and haven't been for quite some time.
Do we believe that they're going to win the AFC East? No.
The Tre'Davious White thing hurts, but I don't think it hurts enough for them to win this division.
I don't think so either. So that means they're going to be the 5 seed. So that means they will play who? The 4 seed? The 4 seed right now, that would be the Cincinnati Bengals? I feel okay about Bill Belichick and them going up against the Cincinnati Bengals on the road.
I don't, and I'm actually glad you said that. I've seen a boy in the comments a few times, so I have to do this. First of all, let me answer. Cameron Shaw said Henry's back for the playoffs or no. It does appear that Derrick Henry would be back for the playoffs.
Yes.
I'm getting a little nervous that they're not going to have to play somebody that they don't want to play in the first round of the playoffs. If the Colts had won yesterday, it would be full on panic time.
Right.
But they didn't. I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud.
Okay.
Because I disagree with our verdict on this.
Okay.
The Bengals will win the AFC North.
No.
You have that as
that's an overreaction to me.
I know, and I forgot that I put it on the screen my way. That's the beauty of doing the graphics. It goes the way I want it to. It's not an overreaction.
Mm-hmm.
The Cincinnati Bengals are the best team in this division. They're flat out. They are, and I don't think you can even argue it at this point. I don't think there's even an argument on the other side, and that's not me trying to slight Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the fuck out of you, and they beat the bejesus out of the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday.
Yeah,
it's one thing to beat a team. They embarrassed Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Embarrassed them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a ton of Baltimore doing that. Baltimore does not embarrass teams. And now, does that mean that is that why I'm saying the Bengals are better? No. It's what a boy keeps saying. They don't really have a flaw. There's not really something I can look at and go, this is how I'm going to beat you.
No.
Lamar Jackson tipped the hand on himself. And by the way, if I heard Chris Collinsworth say, well, it's the lurker. If I heard lurker one more time, I swear to God, I was going to blow something up. Yes, that is the route he's running, but could you please stop saying lurker? By the way, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I just thought of it. When did they put hoodie pockets in jerseys?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you notice that last night? Lamar and Baker Mayfield both had hoodie pockets in their jerseys.
That's perfect.
It's a brilliant idea. Did they do that? I've never seen that before.
Yeah. It's a brilliant idea.
I feel like it's the Mandela effect of where that's been there for 3 years. I've just never seen it.
It's better than the little fanny pack hand warmer thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have made a fanny pack joke about Baker Mayfield before I saw Lamar Jackson.
I saw that in the chat.
I did. I was like, Baker ain't got my little fanny pack.
You got to have it. You got to have something to keep your hands warm. I don't fault players for that at all when they're out on the field.
When did they do it, and where can I buy one? Like, I would like one of those myself.
Yes, the NFL could make a lot of money putting out the winter jerseys.
Fuck yeah.
With the little pouch pocket in the front.
It's like a little kangaroo pocket that I can put my hands in.
Hell yeah, I'm all about it. Look,
I put my shit in there.
Look, Cincinnati's a great team. Okay, we've established this. We were completely wrong about the Cincinnati Bengals. They're way better than we ever thought they could be. The offensive line, as flawed as it looks on paper, it continues to work in games. And they have amazing weapons, an amazing quarterback. Joe Mixon has been absolutely incredible. It's a career year for him this year. There's no doubting any of that. Their defense is not bad. They can get pressure on the quarterback. Trey Hendrickson has been one of the signings of the offseason. He's had a sack in every game this year except for one. Think about that. The guy's got 10.5 sacks on the season. And there's only been one time this season that he has thrown up a goose egg in that category. He is playing unbelievable ball. I just don't believe you're there yet. I don't believe that you are no doubt Super Bowl contender level there.
Oh, let's play a fun game. Mm-hmm. I love fun games.
Just remember, we're only 2 weeks removed from, or 2 games removed from the whole Jets-Browns fiasco that they had back-to-back, and we were going, yep, this ain't a playoff team. Things change.
Mm-hmm.
They get a big win over the Raiders, completely flawed team in my opinion. Get a win over the Steelers, everyone has the opinion that that's a completely flawed team. So
but
before we jump,
beating the piss out of these teams.
sure,
You beat the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fun game.
you also get
This
your
is
shit
according-
pushed in by Cleveland. Just remember that.
And I said that was an aberration game the minute it happened.
Sure.
How many quarterbacks, this is according to Pro Football Focus grade, how many quarterbacks in the NFL are higher graded than Joe Burrow right now?
Ooh, I'm going to go with 4.
You're too high.
Really?
He is 4.
Oh, okay.
The 3 in front of him, I want to see if you can get any. I want to see if you can get any of them, to be frank.
Higher rated quarterbacks than him this year?
Pro Football Focus higher rated quarterbacks than Joe Burrow.
Oh, God. Are they stupid or are they obvious?
2 of them are not stupid at all. One of them I just continuously look at and go, what the fuck?
That's got to be Kirk Cousins. The what the fuck one has to be Kirk Cousins.
Oh, boy, I got one of them in the chat. Tom Brady is 1. Kirk Cousins is 2.
Yeah, who's the other one?
Justin Herbert is 3.
No way.
Justin Herbert's actually been he's actually been reasonably good.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is 11. The thing about Aaron is that he had a couple real bad games early, and so that's flushed him a little bit.
Right. I'm not saying this is not a playoff team.
Oh, they're definitely
a playoff team. They are a threat to the Baltimore Ravens. Will it shock me if they win this division? No, but I still don't think you're there yet.
You're so good offensively. Here's the reason that I wanted to do these back-to-back. The Cincinnati Bengals are the New England Patriots in reverse. Their offense is so damn good that you're going to have to be able to shoot out with them.
Okay.
And the defense is just good enough to keep you from doing that. It's the exact opposite of what New England does. New England's defense is prodigious. Their offense is just good enough to keep you off the field, keep the defense rested, and let what they do what they do.
That is an apt evaluation by you, sir, and I commend you for it.
You are a gentleman and a scholar, and one of these days I'd love to do drugs with you.
41-10, that's an absolute embarrassment. Let's talk about the flip side of this game real quick, because we've said all of the glowing things about Joe Mixon and all the things. There's a big problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And
they're not a playoff team.
It's Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, they're not a playoff team. This is a team that you duct taped it together. And here's the problem.
For one last run.
Everybody's figured it out. Every team they play has figured this out. They can – Najee Harris is a phenomenal running back, except when I put 8 guys in the box, because I'm just not scared of you. With no Juju, I'm not really scared of anybody that's running the intermediate routes. Deontay Johnson can do it. Claypool's a home run hitter, and that is damn near all he is. At this point, do I think he can be more than that? Yes. I mean, the fucking Chase Claypool team is named after him for a reason, because I do love him.
And that's all the guys that Jeremy really loves in the draft.
But now he's a Maserati sitting in the driveway, and you don't know how to drive it. Ben Roethlisberger's cooked.
Yeah, he's done.
He is cooked. He is drier at this point than the Thanksgiving turkey you have reheated 9 times.
Whew.
Make some turkey salad out of it. Just, okay, let's stop eating that the same way you've been eating it for 5 days. Chicken salad mixture, throw some turkey in it, call it good.
Nice.
It's phenomenal.
Nice. 3 turnovers yesterday for Ben Roethlisberger. It is just getting worse and worse and worse, and he's having more and more of those moments where he comes up on plays where he just has that deer in the headlights look. Like, I don't normally expect that from a guy who's been in the league and won Super Bowls and been, MVP candidate and all of that. The confused look you have on your face, it doesn't give me any kind of warm feelings. And it breaks my heart because, I mean, it's Big Ben, man. My wife's a Steelers fan, so we've been following.
By the way, my wife is the one answering in the chat right now. She's standing right here.
Right.
We're gonna find a way to get a camera on her. We only have 2 cameras, and there's 2 very fat-headed individuals on them. She
said something just a second ago, and I hadn't heard anything out of that ear in a long time, and it kind of freaked me out.
Yeah,
I forgot somebody else was in the room with us. But no, I mean, Amy's here. And she's a Steelers fan. My wife's a Steelers fan. My wife loves Big Ben. So every step of the way, it's been like, Big Ben's the greatest thing on the planet. He's just not there anymore. And he shouldn't have come back this year, but that's what they chose to do. It's the best option that they had. Now to me, it's shut it down and figure out what's the next step.
I want to see how close you get to this. If the season ended today, where do the Pittsburgh Steelers finish in the AFC?
10?
You're too high.
12?
They're 12.
Ooh.
The only 4 teams behind them in the AFC are the Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, the Houston Texans, and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Excuse me. Ugh.
And the team right above them, the team above them is the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm. That's bad.
That's where you're at. Mm-hmm. That's who you are at this point. So what am I going to say? I say this a lot. If you're gonna be
bad,
be
bad.
There you go. If you're gonna suck a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There is no. This is the Eli Manning thing all over again. I swear to you, I have been having Vietnam flashbacks to the way Eli Manning was eschewed out of New York because he just wouldn't tap. And eventually, they had to sit his ass down. And it ended ugly, and it took 3 years for them to patch all that shit back together, for them to retire his jersey and have that good old feel-good moment. It's time to do that in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
It is time to trot out Dwayne Haskins. It is time to figure out what you have in this kid, because I know exactly what you haven't been. You have a broken-down quarterback that ain't ever coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it almost starts to feel like a death, where I'm going to have to tell you, they're gone, and they're not coming back. That's Ben Roethlisberger in a nutshell right now. You're not a playoff team. You're not even close to a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Be really, really, and a boy said they won't. Don't be so sure of that. The thing about Pittsburgh, this has been a really good franchise for a really long time for a reason. They tap out on guys a year early, not a year late. Now, Ben's a little different because he's a franchise legend, probably the best quarterback in franchise history.
Mm-hmm.
You could have lost to the Bears. You could have lost to the Browns if they could have gotten out of their own way. You had a tie with the Lions, and you've gotten smoked by the Bengals, and you lost to the Chargers. That's your last 5 games. This is a team that is, I'm not going to say it's irreparably broken, but you have a lot of guys that are in their heyday, and you don't have a quarterback that can facilitate it.
Mm-hmm.
Be bad. Be bad. And you know who's going to really look at this city and go, man, that'd be a fun team to play quarterback for? Every quarterback that hits the market. Every quarterback that is available, every quarterback that can be traded for, everything. I'm not saying Dwayne Haskins is the answer. I'm saying I know definitively Ben's not. And it's time to see what you have in Haskins. And it's time to move on.
And we know Mason Rudolph's not it.
And here's the uncomfortable truth. It doesn't really matter what you do. You ain't winning another game all year. You're not. This team's going to go 5-11-1.
Mm-hmm.
Their schedule for the rest of the year: Baltimore Ravens.
Loss.
Ooh. I like buttons. Baltimore Ravens at the Vikings, Tennessee Titans at the Chiefs, Browns at the Ravens. That's 6 straight losses. You're going to end this season with 8 losses in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the vast majority of those games are even close.
The Vikings game will be close.
In Minnesota?
The Browns game will be close.
That team's going to go to Minnesota and contend with the second best quarterback statistically in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. I'll be on the Minnesota side, and I won't think about it for 5 seconds. You can't keep up with them. Every team in the league now knows about Najee Harris.
Mm-hmm.
I can put 7 in the box and just stymie you because I know Ben can't beat me deep. I can go, man, I can man up every receiver you have. Oh, cool, they beat me. So this is Cam Newton all over again. Right. He can't get you the ball anyway. What do I care?
Right.
You get more than 10 yards past the line. The one big pass he had yesterday looked like a punt. It just so happened that the corner that was on Chase Claypool never saw it.
Right.
I don't know if somebody said, Stephen Tao said, my Steeler fan family wants Tomlin gone. I hear that all the time, and I can't for the life of me figure it out. Mike Tomlin is one of the 3 best coaches in this league, and I don't think that's even debatable.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear that a lot. So,
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about those Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, boy.
God almighty. So the Philadelphia Eagles, we had this running theme of course, this is a playoff team. Their schedule's so bad down the stretch, they should win all of these games. They go to New York, and you just did something like, I don't know what that was, but Jalen Hurts is god-awful at football.
Hey, Nick Sirianni.
We got to recharge your brave batteries.
I have said this 10 times on this show. There's a crux line for you. If Jalen Hurts throws it more than 25 times, you lose. Less than that, you win. How many carries did Miles Sanders have yesterday?
12?
I think it was less than that. I'm trying to pull up the box score because 8's the number in my head. It was, first of all, Jalen Hurts had 8 carries as well. Miles Sanders had 9. He averaged 7 yards a carry. Jalen Hurts averaged almost 10 yards a carry. But please keep giving it to Boston Scott.
But before you go,
did Miles Sanders? I want show me on the doll, Nick Sirianni, where Miles Sanders hurt you. Because that's the only logical explanation.
I can't wrap my head around it because he's averaging 7 yards a carry. And you'll say, oh, but he got hurt. Well, yeah, he got hurt in the second half. Do you remember the opportunity, the golden opportunity that they had to score before halftime? They had gotten the ball down to like the 14-yard line or something like that. And what did they do? They absolutely shit in their pants and let Jalen Hurts throw a fucking interception. Like, you've been running the ball 40 goddamn times every game. You've been running for 250 yards. Why the hell, when you get close to the end zone, that's the time you choose to throw the ball? It makes no sense.
And you just are beholden to Boston Scott. Boston Scott must have a picture of Nick Sirianni blowing a horse, because that is the only explanation I've got of why he is getting so much run. Boston Scott's bad at football. Why am I the only person that sees that? Like, he's not good at this.
He's fine.
He's not good. He's not good, and you had the fumble that cost you the game unequivocally. Everybody's the rare tank explosion. Yet usually I'm the one that goes full Chernobyl.
I just hate it so much when you have a win right in front of you, and all you have to do is not screw it up. All you have to do is run the damn ball. Sorry, that felt good.
Run the damn ball!
And they lose 13-7, and now it makes me think, maybe this is just a shit team, and we shouldn't even try to make the playoffs.
It's not a shit team, it's a shit coach. Nick Sirianni's a shit coach. Do you understand that they ran the ball 33 times in this game?
Yep.
For 208 yards?
Yep.
You average 6.5 yards a carry. What? Jalen Hurts was 14 of 31. If it wasn't for Cam Newton, we would be railing on Jalen Hurts right now. He's just not good.
No.
He's good in this offense the way that it was conceived. But you have absolutely no room for error. That is the problem with teams like Philadelphia. You have to win one way. There's no other way. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball a lot, you're fucked. Period. By the way, that's a sign of a really bad quarterback. I'm just okay. I'm just saying. I like this Philadelphia team, and before before yesterday, I thought they were a playoff team, and now we have this fun overreaction. I got to move my mic a little bit because I'm too far away from the damn board. So the question is, are the Eagles still a playoff team? And I'm going to turn to our old buddy, I Saw a Tiger, for the answer.
Who the fuck cares?
Who cares? Who gives a shit? If you make the playoff, do you realize who they would have to play in the playoffs? All right, let's say you slide in as the 7. You would get Tampa Bay. Good luck with that.
Oh, but that was a good game. That was a good game. They had a chance to win it at the end.
Who cares?
They had a chance to make it interesting, and guess what? They did. They made it a little interesting. Covered the spread.
I promise this is the last shot I take at Cam Newton or the Carolina Panthers. I promise.
No, it's not. We have an afternoon show to do. Don't make promises you can't keep.
Oh, shit. All right. I rescind that because it won't be. You remember when the Philadelphia Eagles tried to hire a coach and nobody wanted this job? Do you remember that? Do you know why? Because they had a quarterback that can't throw that was super limited. You see where I'm headed with this? Nick Sirianni's a bad coach, and he's out of his fucking gourd, too. Did you hear that press conference he had about weeds and plants and shit?
No.
I don't remember exactly how this went, but he said something to the effect of, it's like weeding a garden. You got to know when to take out the weeds, and everybody's got to make sure they're fertilizing. You don't fertilize weeds, you dipshit! Like, what are you talking about? And the more he talked, the worse it got. They had Kevin Hart on the sideline in Philadelphia going, okay, sometimes you should go too far.
I don't know what that was, but do it again. I like it when you put on your little kid voice.
The little kid Kevin Hart voice? I can only do it. I can't. That's the only thing I can do. I mean, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with Philadelphia. They're just okay.
I think that's my favorite impression he does now. Lou Holtz is out the window. It's Kevin Hart.
It's all Kevin Hart.
It's all Kevin Hart all the time. Do it again.
I don't know that I can do it again.
See, you can't do it on demand now.
I don't think I meant to do it, to be really honest.
It was great. It was great, whatever it was. Don't know what that thing is you're doing it, but you just keep doing it, old ginger. All right.
I have a bank account set up. I got to check it into savings.
The bad thing is this is an overreaction. It is an overreaction.
I don't think it is.
Clear and simple. This is a team that's going to make the playoffs because their schedule's so damn bad. I just don't think this could continue.
There's so many Kevin Hart lines happening in the comments, right? No, she wasn't ready. Yeah, this is not an overreaction. It's really not.
It is.
Here's why it's not. Who they gonna make the playoffs over? Who they gonna make the playoffs over?
The Minnesota Vikings.
You're drunker in hell. I mean, you are. Hold on. I have a button for this. Go!
That's the sound the bear makes.
You are out of your mind if you think they're making the playoffs over that Vikings team. First of all, that Vikings team's good. They're good.
They're competitive.
Do you know who they play the rest of the year? The next 3 games for the Minnesota Vikings are the Lions, the Steelers, and the Bears. Mm-hmm. That's 3 wins. Mm-hmm. They end with the Bears. Well, in between there, you get the Packers and the Rams. Mm-hmm. The Packers may have absolutely nothing to play for. That's 2 weeks left in the season.
They will have something to play for.
They may have the one locked up by then.
You think Arizona keeps sliding?
It's not that I think they keep sliding. It's this Cliff Kingsbury thing's weird.
You think there's something to that? Cliff Kingsbury wants to go to Oklahoma, and despite the fact that he has the team with the best record in the NFC right now. No, he doesn't. Stop that. You're smarter than that.
No, you're smarter than that. Okay, in the history of time, when have you ever seen one of the top 5 jobs in college football put out a name that they couldn't get? Why would you put it out there? Because it makes you look stupid. Mm-hmm. If you make the run at Cliff Kingsbury and you get rebuffed, it makes you look dumb. Mm-hmm. And there is a ton of jumping off happening in Oklahoma right now. I'm not saying there's anything to it. I'm saying it's weird. It's weird that you would put that out there. That's and I got news for you. Adam Schefter got it. Mm-hmm. That he's not boomersooner.com. This is not some fan board. This is Adam fucking Schefter.
But don't you think that came from his agent? Don't you think that came from Cliff Kingsbury's agent?
No, the NFL doesn't work like that. He's not getting an extension with the Cardinals because they could care less if he leaves. If Cliff Kingsbury leaves, every coach in the world would want that job. You really think they give a flying fuck if Cliff Kingsbury is the coach of that team or not?
To me, this is a move for him to get an extension, to him to get some kind of a pay raise.
That is not how pro jobs work.
Okay,
it's not and never has been. Name me one time that's ever happened.
I don't know. I don't keep track of shit like that.
I do. It is not a money thing. Because I got news for you. The Bidwell family would look at him and go, bye. Because you know what we'll do? We'll go get Kellen Moore. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's younger you. I don't really give a shit. You're not that great of a coach in the first place. The biggest weird thing to me was, why is that who you want? I feel like you could do better than that. But, I mean, I got news for you. If Oklahoma calls, he will listen. Do I think he would leave in the middle of the season? No. That's why that's still really weird to me.
Right. I'm chasing a Super Bowl here. Why would I even entertain that right now?
Because Cliff Kingsbury is a college coach.
He's doing pretty good in the NFL.
And that's fine. You have way better job security in college than you do in the pros.
There's no doubt about it.
And these are jobs that don't open very often.
Still just don't think that's that Oklahoma is that big of a job that you go, you know what, this job's never going to open up again.
Do you realize how different the money is?
In college?
Yes. Oh, let's look. Because I don't actually know the answer to this with Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Because I do know that somebody asked
this earlier. So if you could go to the Bidwell family and say, I can get $10 million from Oklahoma.
It's more than that.
Okay. I can get $12 million. You're currently paying me $7.
It's 5.5. That's what he makes with Arizona. If he went to...
There you go. Split the difference. Give me 8 and I'll stay.
They would tell him to go fuck himself.
You think so?
Yeah. Let me prove a point to you.
Okay.
Highest paid NFL coach in the NFL right now is...
It's probably still John Gruden.
Nope. Highest paid coaches in the NFL. Bill Belichick makes $12.5 million.
Okay.
Pete Carroll makes $11 million.
Mm-hmm.
There are only a handful that make more than 8. Ron Rivera's at 7.
That's crazy.
Do you know how much Lincoln Riley just got at USC? Because I do know. I saw somebody ask this in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
This hasn't been reported yet. I know what the contract at USC is.
12.
It's 10 years, $150 million, and it's all fucking guaranteed.
15.
Every
Jesus.
cent of it is guaranteed.
Wow.
That's how they got him to USC.
Mm-hmm.
LSU offered him $13 million. He told him to go fuck themselves. It's 10 years, $150 million from Lincoln Riley.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Oklahoma would come off that? And I saw somebody in the comments said, I think it was Adam Black, said that he knows a booster at Oklahoma. Matt Campbell's the fallback.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure Matt Campbell would take that job. And I'm not sure that they would want him to take that job. His buyout is $30 million at Iowa State. That's a cash payout to Iowa State. You're paying that to somebody in your own conference. I don't buy it. I've never bought it.
They're not in our conference anymore. They're only going to be in our conference for another year.
It
we
doesn't
don't care.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
You're still not doing that. But yeah, you're talking about the money. If Cliff Kingsbury went to the Bidwells right now, first of all, who are notoriously cheap, and said, I want $10 million a year, they would show him that door so fast. You want $10 million? Cool. You go to Oklahoma there, pudding pants. We'll go hire Kellen Moore for $6 million. He's younger than you anyway. The belief is that Kyler Murray is the reason this team's so good. There are a lot of people that have drawbacks about Cliff Kingsbury. I'm one of them. Yeah, he gets offered $15 million at Oklahoma. I don't give a fuck if they're the 1 seed in the NFC.
He's going to take
Cliff.
it. Sure.
You offer me $150 million guaranteed dollars, I'm not going to let the door split me. Hit me where the good Lord split me.
Yeah, no kidding. Adam Black, you got it. He nailed it on the head. What a hell of a position to be in.
Yep.
Do I stay and win a Super Bowl, or do I take $15 million a year at Oklahoma? Wow. Poor Cliff Kingsbury. All those tough decisions to make.
So
it feels so bad. You feel so bad for him,
Do you realize half the NFL makes less than $5 million? Half of NFL head coaches make less than $5 million.
I mean, it makes sense. Run through the list.
Kevin Stefanski makes $3.5 million. Kyle Shanahan makes $3.5 million.
Now, see, that's surprising.
Kyle Shanahan's one that I would be going to my agent going, so we need to talk.
So Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma needs a job.
Oklahoma has an opening, and they're giving out dum-dums.
Yeah.
I want some dum-dums.
Absolutely. That does kind of shock me.
That shocks me.
I was expecting, that's all going to be a lot of Nick Sirianni, Joe Judge, just the gross coaches.
This is for the 2021
David
season.
Culley makes a pack of spearmint gum.
Adam Black asked what Saban makes. If I remember correctly, Saban makes like 10 and some change.
That sounds right.
I think that's right.
And then he's got all that Aflac money.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, the name, image, and likeness thing has changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
It has changed the game because there's money going into these institutions. Because I got news for you, and I can tell you, we know this pretty fucking well. It don't all go to the player.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Riley just took a big old jet plane right to L.A. And you know what the tail number on that plane was? NIL.
Mm-hmm. It floats all boats. This is what I kept trying to tell you.
Nick Saban makes 8.7, by the way.
There you go. That's good money.
And his salary
he's got a lifetime contract.
Yeah, and his salary increases $400,000 every year.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Rule makes $8.5 million. I'm reading what Kevin Vick said. That wasn't a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I just said it out loud. I didn't say shit else. Okay, I just said okay.
Nah, I don't believe he's taking that job.
I didn't say I did either. I'm just telling you, the next person that I see turn down that much money will be the first one.
Fair enough.
Daniel Calderon, who is, we are going to talk about your Rams very soon. We have kind of gotten meandering here. Good God, we've already run an hour.
And that's fine. Yeah. I mean, it is
fine.
what it is.
We're doing still. We're having fun. We're hanging out, just, shooting
right.
shit. We hadn't seen you in like 5 days.
Do you have anything else to do?
Yeah, what are you supposed to be working? Fuck that.
I still feel like Philadelphia. We're still talking about Philadelphia.
Apparently.
We haven't moved on from Philadelphia. I still feel like Philadelphia is a playoff team.
I don't.
Schedule's too easy down the stretch. If Nick Sirianni can get his head out of his ass.
How many teams do they play that are worse than the New York Giants? It's 0. You just lost to the worst team you play.
Yeah.
They're not a playoff team.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay.
Minnesota is going to get to 9 wins at worst.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a way Philadelphia does.
Okay.
And if Dallas keeps losing, you're going to have another game with them that actually means something. And they will skull rock you like feeding a dog a pill. Just
He loves that illustration.
Get in there. I do. I use that one.
Is that your favorite way to torture an animal? Is that what this is all about? Like there's something deep inside you that gets a little joy out of just making a creature go.
We should move on.
The Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Cordero Patterson had a couple of touchdowns. Atlanta wins 21-14. And I think we can move the fuck on. Who cares? That's another one. Hit that button. Who the fuck cares?
Your Joe Exotic is pretty good. Just throw that out there.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Really, this was an inconsequential game that it was good to see Cordero Patterson get the end zone twice.
Cordero Patterson is really good at football. But you remember when we made that bet that the New Orleans Saints were going to be better than the Atlanta Falcons?
Hey, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I have the Falcons out of that.
Oh, wait. Do you?
Yeah, I do. You had the Saints. I have the Falcons. Oh,
yeah.
wait.
Yay.
I like my side of that. Cordero Patterson's real good at football. The rest of that team is bad. Mm-hmm. Kyle Pitts not getting the level of targets that I thought he would. I do feel like we have to give 30 seconds to – can we get any other coaching staff in Jacksonville? Can we give one of the best quarterbacks I've ever evaluated to a smarter institution than Brian Schottenheimer or Urban Meyer?
No, because you can't fire a coach after just 1 year. You said that.
Yeah, they won't fire Urban Meyer. The hope is that, hey, Oklahoma. Come sweeping down the plains.
Oh. Come on, Urban.
We've been doing this entirely too long together.
Yeah, we have. He needs to be an urban cowboy. He needs to definitely go to Oklahoma, take that job, save them the trouble of having to fire him.
Well, they're not going to fire him.
God, they should.
They're not going to.
They should.
By the way, he makes $12 million. Just for what
all the more reason to fire him.
It's all right. Shad Khan's got all that pro wrestling money to throw around.
God.
Yeah, that's all we
The New York Jets. Go ahead.
Jets. Why?
Why do you have to win?
Stop winning.
21-14, they beat the Houston Texans. What? I mean,
okay,
it looked
this close to Kayvon Thibodeau.
It looked so promising too. Early in the game, Zach Wilson's throwing passes at the backs of guys' heads.
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't be having to say this to an NFL quarterback. If you're reading the name on the back of the player's jersey and their head is in lockstep with it, maybe don't throw it to them.
Right.
Because they don't have eyes in the back of their head.
And, it was a hell of a play by the linebacker to make the interception on that play. Of catch it off of Ty Johnson's back before it hits the ground to get the interception. Now, your team's horrible. Houston's horrible. I'm glad you guys were able to taste victory just for a little bit. I know you're not.
Sweet victory.
Zach Wilson running in for the game-winning touchdown.
That's not how bunny ears works. It actually was the game-winning touchdown.
I don't care that it was gross and ugly and it shouldn't have even mattered.
Oh, can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
The Jets' next two games are both at home, and they're against the Eagles and the Saints.
Uh-huh.
I'll take the Jets in both.
Oh, you're crazy.
I'll take the Jets in both.
No, stop that.
Elijah Moore, he a dog.
Okay. I don't dispute that. I'm just saying, really, you don't think Philadelphia is going to be able to run the ball down your throat again?
No.
You think they're going to let Jalen Hurts blow it again? We've seen it now.
Yeah, actually, yes, I do. Yeah, I firmly do.
Nah, that's going to have to be a major spread for me to be on your side.
That's fine. Yeah, you were on Houston yesterday too.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, reigning, defending, suck it, champion of the world.
You may have won the war, but I won the battle.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you already owed one. So this was we didn't say this out loud. The double or nothing torture ticket was the Rams and the Packers.
Yep, he lost that one.
I did.
That was where I was going with that.
So we have two choices. We can either call it good, or we can have a tandem torture ticket.
Tandem torture ticket sounds fun.
Yeah, that's what I think it is too. I kind of saw that coming. I saw that coming. Now the question is, what is that going to be?
Yeah, and stop it, Michael Whiteside. No, we're not playing Rochambeau.
Yeah, because I'll win. I've seen me kick things. I like my side of that a lot. I'll even let you go first. Because I only need one.
No, thank you.
I only need but one. And if you give me two back-to-back, you might die.
We're not doing that. Your Jets get a win, and nobody cares.
The Jets have pieces, though.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Zach Wilson, actually, I watched Zach Wilson progress over the course of this game.
Mm-hmm. He
was better by the end than he was at the beginning.
Okay. So he went from
still
awful to bad.
And so this is why I evaluate quarterbacks and you don't. I see things in I see more in Zach Wilson right now than I see in Trevor Lawrence. It's not even close. Legitimately, it's not even close. And I see more in Fields and Mac Jones than I do in either of the two I just said.
Mm-hmm.
They were further along in the process. I see things in Zach Wilson. The arm talent is insane. You just have to rein it in. And I think Mike LaFleur is getting better at it. You got to say, they were down 14-3. Mm-hmm. This was a game that could have gone off the rails. Rob Salah and Jeff Ulbrich called a pretty good defensive game, kept Tyrod Taylor in the pocket. I see things in Zach Wilson. I'm not as ready to jump off a bridge. Now, a lot of it is centered around old number 8. Old number 8 makes me feel way better about a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
I could argue he's the best young receiver in the NFL, not named Jamar Chase. I could argue that, and I'm not sure I'm wrong.
Better than Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson has a lot of periods of time where he just disappears off the face of the earth. And Elijah Moore has too. I mean, it's been 4 games, so I'm putting the cart a little bit before the horse.
Yes.
But Elijah Moore is really, really good.
No, there's no doubt about it. You want to hit the button for me?
Which one?
You know the one. You know the one I'm looking for.
I don't know.
You know the one that I'm looking for.
Oh, Jesus, fuck me, Christ.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
Fire them cannons. Lenny Fournette. 4 total touchdowns yesterday.
If you had that, you're a witch. By the
way, there were a lot of people that had that, by the way, yesterday.
You know why? Because they wanted a cheap piece of this game.
Yep. And Fournette was it, and boy, did he pay off. 4 total touchdowns. Tampa Bay comes back to win over the Indianapolis Colts 38-31. You know, we could never count out Tom Brady.
I'm just going to level with you. The Indianapolis Colts have the ability to poop in a lot of punch bowls.
Yes, they do.
I don't know that 10 wins is going to make the playoffs in the AFC. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it won't.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think Indianapolis is going to finish.
10 wins?
Mm-hmm. They're 6-6. They have 1 game left that I feel pretty sure they're going to lose. The other 4, I think they could win.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Johnson said the Colts can't close out games. Yeah, you know why? Because Frank Reich refuses to run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. I couldn't not do it again. He makes me want to. Frank Reich makes me want to do things that if I said them out loud, I would be put on a watch list.
Mm-hmm.
Because he makes me so damn angry. It's not even my team. He infuriates me to no end. Run the damn ball.
Jonathan Taylor scored the what they thought would be the seminal touchdown of the game, at least to push it to overtime, and then there was just too much time left.
Seminal, that's a Navy term, right? I could not.
What? No.
Seminal.
Stop that.
I'm 6. I'm 6 years old. Fuck off. All right.
5.5. Your wife says 5.5.
Yeah, I am an adult male child.
We knew that Rob Gronkowski was going to have a big game, or at least I tried to tell you he was going to have a big game. You did too. You did too. I'm not leaving you out. I'm just saying we said Rob Gronkowski is the guy to have, and in the passing game he was. We just didn't know that there were going to be 5 rushing, I guess there were 5 total touchdowns by running backs. 4 of them were rushing the football.
I have to say this out loud. Rob Gronkowski had 7 catches for 123 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the rest of your receivers had combined?
150?
18 catches for 103 yards.
Yeah.
Gronkowski was over half of your passing attack, and the Colts just never went, hey, you know what we should do? That big dude that looks like he might die if we hit him, maybe maybe we should cover him.
Yeah.
I want to watch Rob Gronkowski run a 40 so bad I can't stand it. Because I think it would take him about 9 seconds to do it. He is the least athletic-looking human I have ever seen in my life. And yet...
Except...
You just can't defend him because he is just bigger and meaner and stronger than you are.
And way better hands than anybody.
Good Lord, he is infuriating to watch.
Yeah.
Rob
It doesn't look
Gronkowski,
good.
you know that guy at the gym that throws bows underneath the rim? He tends to wear a lot of like headbands and sweat things. That's Rob Gronkowski. He's not athletic at all, but good Jeebus. He is big and strong, and I would love to drink beers on a boat with him.
I'm sure you
Rob
would.
Gronkowski, Pat McAfee, and me. Let's make it happen. Let's do this shit.
But this is the Indianapolis team that we have been telling you all season long. Like, this is a team that's really good, but they're going to fall short in these big games. Carson Wentz, it's official, right? The rebirth of Carson Wentz is official.
Oh, 100%.
We are back to Carson Wentz could be an MVP candidate any moment.
I'm not
this
to
year.
that point.
Not this year, but I mean, as this team develops together, he'll be back in the conversation within a year.
They have their quarterback. Mm-hmm. In a division that sucks a lot. There's 2 teams in this division. And, isn't it funny how that keeps happening? This division separates like oil and water about every 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
Weird how that happens. It's just winners win and losers suck.
And the problem is everybody in this division can be both.
No, there's 2 teams in the division. Jaguars.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Throughout the years, as they have rotated,
it's usually been the Colts and the Titans. They are the cream rising to the top. Every once in a while,
Except
Jacksonville.
for that 5-year run of the Houston Texans where they won the division.
It wasn't that long. Bill O'Brien was only there for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see how long.
They won the division, what, two times?
I think it was 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, nope.
I think he went to the playoffs 4 out of 5 years. He was a wild card in one of those.
And before that, they'd been completely irrelevant.
Well, of course. But that's what I'm saying. They switch places.
Doop, boop, boop. They won it 4 out of 5 years.
There you go.
Wow. Texans were actually better than I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
They were completely irrelevant for the first 10 years in the league, and then they won 6 division titles. Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of my point. They rotate, and this time it's Indianapolis, and it's the Tennessee Titans. The problem is those windows are still short. Because you got Carson Wentz for, what, he's going to be real good for another 3 years maybe?
How old do you think Carson Wentz is?
No, he's young. But what I'm saying is I'm projecting they're going to have this window for a limited amount of time.
I don't know that I agree with you. This team's young and good. They've drafted well. This is just not going to be your year.
You got to give 3 or 4 years for the flip to happen again, because you got to think about how far away the other two teams are.
Oh yeah, the Texans and the Jaguars are.
Right.
Those two are closer to the CFL than they are to the other two teams in this division.
Bingo. But last night, you had Tampa Bay. You know, they came up with the win. The defense has still got major problems.
Yeah,
and they're a super
sucks.
flawed Super Bowl contender.
Your defense sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
Just why I can't have you any higher in my power rankings than I'm going to on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're universally going back to power rankings on Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Any objections there?
Yeah, no, we just pushed that for the holiday week.
We are a democracy. We can do power rankings on Tuesday.
We can. I mean, yeah, if that's what the group wants. All right. Now, can we break into the 4 o'clock games for Sunday?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah, we might be done with this by 2.
The Denver Broncos beat the Los Angeles Chargers 28-13. And the Los Angeles Chargers, yeah, you had it. We know. Sure did. We know.
Sure did do it, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. But it was predictable. I feel like Denver did that thing that they did to the Cowboys. They just got more physical.
At the end of the day, Denver just ran the ball down their throats.
Mm-hmm.
Javonte Williams, you're welcome.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, you remember that thing I said about he was a real cheap running back you should play on DraftKings? Bah!
Yeah, he had over 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yep, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
He was good at the footballs.
Patrick Surtain with 2 interceptions. He's the future of the NFL.
He is also real good at the footballs.
Uh-huh.
There's not much of a takeaway for me with the Broncos. I still just think you are what you are.
Mm-hmm.
My bigger takeaway is with the Chargers.
Yep. Is this a playoff team still?
I don't think they are. And here's why I say that. And I know we have several Chargers fans that watch this show.
Mm-hmm.
I have a struggle of how certain teams are going to miss the playoffs. And now you're in that sludgy tier with the Colts, who I've already said are probably going to win 10 games,
mm-hmm.
with the Raiders, who still have some winnable games on the schedule, the Bengals and the Bills I think all of these teams are better than you are. And they're certainly more consistent than you are.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers look like 2 different teams at times. And I just keep coming back to the same thing I've said about this team. I feel like I've said this 50 times. You can be bad running it. You can be bad stopping the run. You cannot be both.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, Austin Eckler, I've heard, he was so good yesterday. Was he, though? Was he a slot receiver? Because that's what he tends to like to do. And it's exactly what he was. 12 carries, 31 yards rushing the ball. It's 2.5 yards a carry. You're barely falling forward. You cannot be in that position.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking too much of Justin Herbert.
It's because Eckler is used as a receiver out of the backfield that he makes up for that work. That's where people confuse
It's the fantasy footballification of the league.
Right. It's where people confuse Austin Eckler as a good running back. He's a good running back, but he is not a good runner of the football.
Yeah,
There's a big difference.
He is not a bell cow running back. Just because he is a RB1 on your fantasy team does not mean he's a good real-life NFL running back, because he is not. He is a real good, gadgety, gimmicky, wheel route because he can catch the football like a receiver. He is a number one slot receiver in this league. He is not a number one running back in this league, and is what is holding this team back because it is too easy to figure out what they're doing. The interception by Herbert, the pick six, it was predictable as shit, and Patrick Surtain baited him into throwing it. That's what's making him look so bad because he's actually not playing poorly. Statistically, he's not all that good. But then you watch it and you just go, it's so easy to see. I can see it at pre-snap of what it is they're trying to do, and you just keep falling for it. And here's the thing. That was my drawback on Herbert coming out. He didn't play high-end defenses in the Pac-12. And now it's a real struggle for him to read defenses. And the fact that he has no outlet, that there's no outlet, because he can't just turn around and hand the ball off. He stays behind the chains, and it makes you super predictable. Derek Farrow said, I didn't see the Chargers getting blown out by the Broncos. I didn't see them getting blown out by the Broncos. But I saw the Broncos winning this game. And I told you that on Wednesday.
Yep. You did have Denver plus the 3. Oh, dear.
Mike McCarthy has the Rona. Breaking news.
Oh, no, there's been up to 8 positive tests within the organization, and the Dallas Cowboys are ravaged by the coronavirus.
Super Sniffles ravaging the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, no, it's the Omni strain or whatever the hell that thing is.
Omicron. I think he was friends with Optimus Prime. I've had that queued up for about 4 days, just waiting for a chance to.
The Chargers have to get to 10 wins. You have to get to 10 wins to make the playoffs. It is still within their reach. Here's the thing, though: you're gonna have to win a tough one. You're gonna have to win one of these tough games coming up. You go to Cincinnati this week. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Nope.
You've got a Cincinnati team that is beating the hell out of people. You just saw what Javonte Williams
beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, you just saw what Javonte Williams was able to do to this defense. You've seen it week in and week out what good running backs are doing to this defense. What do you think Joe Mixon's going to do to them?
Somebody in the comments said I've had plenty of caffeine today. Why, yes, I have. Because I've been off for 4 days, and it was real hard for me to get up this morning.
You got the Giants in between the Bengals and the Chiefs. Okay, let's assume that Cincinnati and Kansas City, those are losses.
Yep.
All right, so you're going to have to beat New York. Then you go to Houston. This should be good.
And the Broncos.
And then you got to host the Broncos, and then you got to go to the Raiders to end the season. It's not going to be easy for you to make the playoffs, but it's still doable.
It's 100% doable. I just don't think you're going to doable it. I mean, the problem is that and here's why. What do we say year in and year out translates to end of the year and playoff success? You have to be able to stop the run and run the damn ball.
And you can't do either.
That's 2 things that they don't do well. They're going to lose one of these games that they're not supposed to. I'm just telling you right now, this is a team that does that. And Kansas City is going to be out for blood when they come to play you in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they didn't even play.
Gonna get it.
They didn't even play this week. But I feel like they're even staking claim to something that we're going to talk about here in just a second. The other 4 o'clock games, we had, San Francisco and Minnesota. Let's talk about that one. San Francisco beats the Vikings 34-26. Debo Samuel's pretty good at football.
Yeah, he doesn't suck. The San Francisco Fighting Michael Whitesides. Overreaction. The 49ers are a Super Bowl contender. It's an overreaction, but not by much. You tell me who wants to play that team right now.
Nobody.
Because that defense has gotten better. I know, but Minnesota scored points. Okay. Okay. San Francisco scoring points at a high-end rate.
That offense is moving much better these days. They've figured out a rhythm here with Jimmy G and Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle coming back had a huge impact on the offense.
Everything. Brandon Ayuk has been way better.
Mm-hmm. This offense is rolling. They're scoring enough points to win the big games. They are going to be a threat for everybody.
And you know what changed?
Are they a Super Bowl contender? Can they string enough big wins together to win it?
I believe so. Because this is a team. This is a team that you are going to see towards the end of the year that is going to be really hot. And here's why I say that: they play the Seattle Seahawks, the Atlanta Falcons, the Tennessee Titans, who are not looking as daunting as they did, and the Houston Texans. All right, let's take that Titans game out. That's 3 no-doubt wins. Seahawks, Falcons, Texans. You have to steal a game from the Bengals, the Titans, and the Rams. I think they're better than the Rams. I do. I think right now they are better than the Rams. Now, you're going to have to go to L.A. last week of the season and do it. I get that. I think they're going to steal that game from the Titans.
I would agree with that.
Still no Derrick Henry. That game, I believe, is going to mean less for the Titans because I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Titans' schedule, doesn't it lighten up? We've talked about the Titans.
I think they have the
before.
Dolphins and the Texans left.
Yeah, they play the Jaguars, the Steelers, and then the 49ers. That's 2 other. I mean, the Titans are sitting at 8 wins. Still got the Dolphins and the Texans on the other side of that. I could see, that's 4 almost no-doubt wins for me, for the Titans. Yeah. So that game just may not mean a lot. I think San Francisco is going to come in. I think we see a team do this every year, that you see them hit the stride, because right now they're so fucking hard to defend. Because you see Deebo Samuel in the backfield, and this is not happening a lot, but at the end of the day, do you know why that's so hard to defend? Why? Deebo playing out of the backfield? Because there is a possibility that if you put that linebacker in the box and they realize that linebacker's on Deebo, hot, wheel route. We have George Kittle playing tight end, who's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. We run a wheel route, and you don't have a snowball's chance in hell of stopping him. I mean, not a snowball's chance in hell. That's what makes it so hard. And so now you've got all this pre-snap motion. There's so many things happening, and it's so hard to line up against. I'm not saying it's that they're a Super Bowl level team right now. I'm projecting. I think this is a team that nobody wants to see make the playoffs.
This is also a team, though, with one injury, it all falls back apart again. And Debo's having an MRI today on the hamstring.
He's already said he's fine.
Hopefully he is. I'm not wishing ill on him. I hope this team stays together, and I hope they're going to be, because I said at the beginning of the season, this is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites for the entire season.
So, and I've seen this a couple times in the comments. Deebo said, I just felt it tighten up, and I came off the field before it got any worse. I was afraid it was going to get worse, and then they didn't want to risk it, and they kept me out.
Yep.
I'm going to level with you. I don't care. Deebo is, without a doubt, the one. George Kittle can be the one. Brandon Ayuk can be the 2. And Elijah Mitchell is tough to stop out of the backfield. You want to talk about a running back I got right? That's a running back I got right.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good year of running backs, just throwing that out there.
I'm not there yet. I'm not at the Super Bowl contender level with San Francisco, and I'll be honest with you, aside from them running the table, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility for the rest of this season, then we'll talk.
Oh, and they very well could. Matthew Hoffman asked in the comments, completely random question, why do women's college basketball games not have betting spreads?
Oh, my God. Why would you? You need a meeting.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was headed. They have meetings in the basement of churches for that comment. I've been there. No judgment. All right, I have a cricket guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I have bet cricket. I have bet many other things that I'm not proud of. Because if I ever bet women's college basketball, I really want somebody to, and my wife's sitting right here. I want you to grab me and go, we need to talk.
Because there are 4 teams in women's college basketball every year
that are real good.
Yeah, and every game they play would be a 28-point spread.
Yeah, by the way, it would be really hard to bet because the South Carolina UConns of the world, they can beat the shit out of teams. Sorry, that was a total right turn. I saw the opportunity to make a joke, and I took it. I believe in San Francisco. You don't. I get it.
The way you say it so cut and dry just makes me sound awful.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers.
Why I said it that way.
The Green Bay Packers and the LA Rams last night. This was the torture ticket game, and Jeremy lost because why do you expect anybody's going to go into Lambeau and beat Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, especially coming off a loss?
But you're coming off a bye because I believe in Sean McVay.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in them way less now than I did. I do. I believe in the Rams.
The turnovers are killing them.
The overreaction Monday today, the Rams will miss the playoffs. It's an overreaction. It's not nearly as much one as you think it is. It's just not. It is not as much of an overreaction as people will.
You think San Francisco and Minnesota are the teams that are going to knock them out of the playoffs?
I think San Francisco's better than them. Just flat out. They still have to play the Cardinals, at the Vikings, at the Ravens, and the 49ers. I don't know how you're going to win any of those 4 games. You can't shoot out with the Vikings at this point. Matt Stafford has regressed to a unbelievably low rate. Outside of Cooper Kupp, they have nothing. Everybody talks about, the weapons with Odell Beckham.
Van Jefferson looked pretty good last night on that catch.
Once.
Odell Beckham Jr. with that long touchdown. Looked pretty good. That's all it takes. It only takes a spark to get a fire going.
No, that's not quite how that works. Here's the thing. They had a 79-yard catch and a 54-yard catch. That was half of their offense. Half.
That's all I need.
And the defense was not much of an aversion to Green Bay. Stafford's turning the ball over at a ridiculous rate.
6 in 3 games.
Jonathan Welch said OBJ had 84 yards and a touchdown. Yep, sure did. And 50, it was 81 yards, first of all. But 54 of it came on one play. He's not a threat. That's the thing. You lost Robert Woods. Robert Woods was the big play guy. Can Van Jefferson hit one deep? Yeah, he's Deshaun Jackson 2.0. Ask Raider fans how they feel about Deshaun Jackson right now. Can he take the top off the defense? Yeah. But there's just not a lot here. I mean, I'm looking at the Rams right now going, I don't know how I feel about this. It is an overreaction to me to say they're going to miss the playoffs. But it's not by as much as you think. I could see this team being 9-8.
It seemed out of the realm of possibility a few weeks ago. They've lost 3 games in a row. Obviously, that hurts when you go from.
Well, they're 7-1.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a hell of a fall from grace. And I'm gonna level with you. There's something I have noticed about offenses with Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
They all regress. Every single one of them. And Joshua Penix has just a fucking phenomenal point. They struggled at the Colts. They could have lost that game. They beat the Bucs. Other than that, there's a lot of wins against the Bears and the Seahawks and the Giants and the Lions and the Texans. You know what those teams have in common? They'll suck. Every team I just said is in the bottom 10 in the NFL. And you've gotten just rolled up in a carpet and beaten senseless by 3 good teams in a row. You played 3 teams in a row that I think are top 10 in the league. They all 3 fucking embarrassed you.
Right.
Because I don't give a fuck what this score was. This game was never close. There was never a thought in my brain that the Rams were going to come back and win this game. Was there for you?
Hell no.
Okay. Just making sure we were thought the same way.
Yeah.
I never thought they were going to win this game. And so for me, I'm looking at it with the Rams just going, and I think Daniel Calderon has a point. Raheem Morris might be the problem. It is really hard to switch defensive coordinators 3 times in 3 years. And I think it's catching up to them. And I just don't know that this team can beat good teams. I mean, you're telling me you think they're going to go into Arizona and beat Arizona? I don't.
Yeah, it could.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I didn't think the Carolina Panthers were going to go in there and win. You're talking about a team.
Game. Don't fall into that. This is nobody's ever been trapped in the history of ever in a divisional game. Ever. Okay. Not with somebody they're contending for the division with. Because the Rams are going to win this week against Jacksonville because Jacksonville blows. So you're going to have an 8-4 team coming into your house that's 1 game behind you in the division. You think you're going to get trapped in that game?
No, I'm not saying you're going to get trapped.
But that's
in that
what
game.
you're comparing it to. I didn't think Carolina could go in there in a trap game because Arizona thought they would show
that's
up.
That's just proof to show you.
Breaks off them.
That's just.
Anything can happen.
Exactly.
In the NFL. That's such a bullshit line.
It's not a
I
bullshit
absolutely
line.
hate it.
It's not a bullshit line.
Okay, name me the divisional game between two contending teams
Mm-hmm.
where you don't think the better team has won all year, all 8 divisions. Name me one. I'll give you a hint. I'll save you the.
I can't think of one off the top of my head. You know what's suck at this game.
I'll save you the time. There's not fucking one. Because I knew you were going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I knew as soon as I put this Rams graphic on the screen, you were going to say, anything can happen in the NFL. And you were going to bring up Jacksonville against Buffalo or Carolina against Atlanta or Carolina against Arizona. You know all those games have in common? They're shit teams going up against good teams that overlooked them. You know what's never happened in the history of time? A team look at a team that's one game behind them in the division and get caught. Ever. They'll beat the hell out of that Rams team. How are they going to defend them? How in the world do they plan on defending them? You couldn't defend the Packers who have one receiver.
And then they do go in there and they win. And the Rams get that victory. Then the song is going to be, oh, well, they're better than I thought. It's not a trap game thing. It's not. I'm not trying to make it seem like. But that's what you're trying to make it seem like.
No, because you compared it to a trap game. That is exactly what you just did. Anything can happen in the NFL. No, the cream rises to the top. That's how that works, especially in December. And right now, the Arizona Cardinals are a markedly better team than the Los Angeles Rams. Period. That line, and I know for a fact we have one odds maker that watches this show. I'll promise you that line's going to be over 5.5.
If it is, I'll be on the other side of it.
I promise you it's going to be over 5.5. Because the team's not very good. They're just not. All right, and I'll give you a point of reference.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling this number is going to be. I have no idea what Stephen Taylor's talking about right now. 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Does anybody?
Usually.
That was Matthew Stafford's stat line last night.
Woo, and he wasn't good. Nah.
Aside from the two turnovers, he was good.
Yeah, and it's kind of like looking at somebody's driving record and going, minus the fact you've totaled 2 cars in 6 months, you're a fucking great driver. Your insurance carrier would beg to differ. Jacksonville at the Rams. What did that line start at? You think that's a clear, no doubt?
Oh, it was 12?
That's exactly what it started at.
Yeah.
You would think that would start at 14.5.
Maybe.
It moved to that because Vegas is baiting you. Because Vegas is baiting you. And I'm not saying they won't cover it. I'm sure I'll have the Rams when we go to pick this game. I'm just telling you, this time the team is not as good as you think it is. They started out really well. Losing Robert Woods was huge. Because guess what? Now this team can't run a greasy peg up a cat's ass. They were not good running the ball. Darrell Henderson has become very low efficiency. 3.4 yards a carry, 3.2, 2.9, I think are the last 3 games without Robert Woods, if I remember correctly.
I just wouldn't be burying the LA Rams.
I'm not saying I'm burying them. I said them missing the playoffs is an overreaction, but it's not by as much as you think. Because right now I think the 49ers are better. I don't think Philadelphia is better, but I think their schedule's a lot more manageable. And I think the same thing with the Vikings. I'm not sure. I don't think the Vikings are better than them right now.
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy to me.
You have one win over a team that's worth a fuck, and it was 2.5 months ago. The end of the day, and that matters a lot to me. When you've played 4 good teams and you've gotten your shit pushed in 3 times, that tells me you're not very good. And maybe I'm oversimplifying that, but you're talking about how good Matthew Stafford was. His QBR was a 44.
Right.
Oh, he was good minus 2 interceptions. No, he was about a 50% completion guy minus those 2 interceptions. He was very, very average. And you take away the 2 big plays, there wasn't a lot there.
Aaron Rodgers said, forget the fucking toe. I don't know what the whole toe thing was, but it sparked one of the grossest messages I have ever seen in a chat.
Was it?
And whatever that fucking toe was, like Jonathan Welch sent the picture, and I'm hoping to God that's not his toe. I hope that's a picture that you found somewhere, but it looks like, it's somebody obviously with like frostbite, and the end of their toe is completely dead, and it's black, and it's just like Jeremy's soul. It's the grossest thing ever.
I hate when people oversimplify things. Stephen Dow said, I can't believe Stafford let Aaron score 36 points. Isn't that the fucking point? He literally scored one of them for them. He threw a pick six that was terrible. The defense was bad, too. They're on the same fucking team the last time I checked. They wear the same helmet, so if they're not on the same team, then it's very weird that you dress alike. It's kind of a sum of all parts is what I'm trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford, I told you this before the year, and nobody wanted to listen to me. I did not think Matthew Stafford was that big of an upgrade over Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff has regressed, and I would very much argue that that's because he doesn't have a receiver known to man. Okay, let me simplify this. Mm-hmm. Where would you rank Matthew Stafford among quarterbacks right now?
10.
I think you're too high. I do. I think you're too high. Pro Football Focus, where do you think he is right now?
10.
You're too high.
13.
Too high.
15.
Still too high.
Wrong.
He's 16. He's 16. And that's about right. I love how you just told me an analytical stat is wrong. That's actually
Tony Pollard's the best running back in the NFL.
Tony Pollard's not the best
Your
running back
PFF grades, I'm going to continue to use that.
Tony Pollard is the third best running back in the NFL right now.
Thank you.
He's also played 272 snaps total.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many quarterbacks that applies to? Quarterback. If you want to ding this on running backs, more power to you. You ain't dinging it on quarterbacks because you know what every fucking quarterback in front of him has in common?
What's that?
They've all played over 600 snaps.
Okay.
There's no way to say an analytical stat is not true. It grades everything. That's the beauty of it. Facts don't care about your fucking feelings. This is where it is. This is the case. I mean, there's. Tell me what quarterback they have listed above him. Now, there's one that I get it.
Okay.
But you have to remember this takes everything into account.
Okay.
Matt Ryan is ahead of Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that's not close. Stafford's better.
And I don't know that I agree with you. If you put Matt Ryan with the Rams and Matthew Stafford with the Falcons, what do you think would happen?
The same fucking thing that's happening right now.
Wait, I don't understand what Matt Stafford would look a lot like Matt Ryan in Atlanta, and Matt Ryan would look a lot like...
pretty much.
That's the point. That's what this whole metric is meant to do. It takes that other bullshit out. Mm-hmm. You know what Pro Football Focus does that nobody else does?
What's that?
If you throw a perfect pass and it hits the receiver in the fucking hands, it's not a ding on the quarterback. It's a ding on the receiver. Mm-hmm. If you throw some god-awful errant pass and the receiver corrals it, it's a plus for the receiver. It's not for the quarterback. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of this metric. It's the reason I use it, because there's no emotion in this.
Mm-hmm. So give me the others that are right in front of him.
Derek Carr. It's been better than Matthew Stafford.
I
It's
how
not
I feel about that.
Because it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It's the fucking truth. That's like saying you don't know how you feel about it being Monday. Well, it fucking is. So, Ryan Tannehill, outside of the last two games, it's not even close. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Mac Jones, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady. Who are you disagreeing with? Mm-hmm. There's not one there. Now, I left out one in Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts has been way more efficient running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's...
Mac Jones. That's another one.
You're about to argue with me that Matt Stafford's been better than Mac Jones.
No, I'm not saying that he's been better, that his statistics are better. I'm saying he's a better quarterback.
This has nothing to do with statistics. This has everything to do with your play on the field. It's just like QBR. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones has been exponentially better than Matthew Stafford. Exponentially.
Okay.
I mean, I just used, and this is a stupid metric.
With your short, safe, dink and dunk passes. I get it. I understand how
he's asked to do.
I understand that.
Well, I mean, what do you want? There's not a receiver on that team that scares you deep.
What I'm saying, you line them up on the field next to each other. You put them through their paces. You're taking Mac Jones? And all the things that makes a quarterback better. Stats can be deceiving, is all I'm saying.
And this has nothing to do with stats for the second time. This has not a damn thing to do with stats. I'm saying you put Mac Jones with the Rams, you put Matthew Stafford with the Patriots would get worse, and I'm not sure that the Rams wouldn't get markedly better.
Okay.
Do you think Matthew Stafford with no weapons in New England is going to be 8-4 right now? Because I don't. I don't in any way think how you could. Mm-hmm. Because he's been a turnover-prone quarterback his entire career. We always say, oh, but it's because he's in Detroit. Well, right now he's got more shit around him than you could ever want. He's got 3 of the best defensive players in the league, which you would think would tell you to stop taking these stupid risks that he has been notorious for, and now he's done it 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So he tries to do too much. I know you like him because he's your Georgia boy. I get it. I've always thought he was overrated. I still think he's overrated. And I still maintain, I don't think there's that big of a difference between him and Jared Goff.
Okay. The Packers are the NFC favorite. Is it an overreaction or not?
I don't see how you can think it's an overreaction.
I don't either.
I mean, I've tried to be as derisive of the Packers as I could be. At the end of the day, they just keep winning. I just... by the way, Boy had a really good point about Matthew Stafford.
What do you think?
Take Calvin Johnson away from Matthew Stafford, and what do you have? Not a lot. In all reality, not a lot.
It's a good point.
So, it just, for me, I look at Green Bay and just go, the defense is playing way better. And you got Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
At this point, if you don't think they're the NFC favorites, you're going to have to tell me who you think it is, and it's going to be a real tough explanation.
Oh, yeah.
The Cardinals are the only team I'd even listen to.
Yeah, and I'm still not sold on the Cardinals. I mean, hands down.
I'm sold on the Cardinals, but the Packers beat them.
Yeah, hands down, those two teams against each other, playoff atmosphere, I'm taking the experience. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. You may not like it. You may think he's a jerk. There was a lot of conversation in our little chat thread yesterday about how he's such a jerk. Okay, he's a jerk who's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I saw somebody compare Cam Newton's jerkiness to Aaron Rodgers. That's kind of like saying, hey, I met these 2 girls at the bar. They were both really bitchy, but one of them was a 10 and one of them was a 2. I went home with the 10. I dealt with the bitchy. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Right.
That's all. It's true. Look in the fucking mirror. It's true.
Yeah, I think the Green Bay Packers are the favorite in the NFC right now. And the Cardinals are close. But I think, hands down, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
I am too.
And then finally, last night on Sunday Night Football, you had Lamar Jackson throwing 4 interceptions, and it didn't matter because Cleveland sucks that bad.
Their offense is just very listless.
Baltimore wins 16-10. If it hadn't been for that dumbass call, I still don't understand it. I still see it. Look at the replays of that David Njoku touchdown and go, how in the hell was that a complete pass?
Because you can't definitively overturn it. You cannot do subjective things in replay. It's always been the downfall of replay forever. And people fall into and what's funny to me is that people fell into this while Gene's territory was, or not territory. Who's the one that does it for NBC? Who's the rules at hockey or not hockey league? God damn it! I see his stupid face.
Mike Pereira.
No, Pereira's on Fox. Oh God! Please, somebody tell me this fucker's name because I can see it. I can hear his stupid voice in my head. But anyway, whoever the rules analyst guy is on NBC was literally sitting here telling you how this was going to go, and you're like, yeah, because there's an angle where it looks like it bounced off his leg. You can't see it any other way. You can't. There's no definitive what happened.
Every angle I saw, there was zero space between the ball and the ground, which is what my eyes saw. People's eyes are different.
Well, from the McCauley, thank you, Terry McCauley. God, Patrick, hold like a hug you right now because that was making me want to just rampage.
From the end zone angle, it didn't even look like he caught the ball at all. From the angle in front of him, it was a split second. But there is a frame where no separation, ball and ground. And did he have control of that ball? There's no way you could say he could because his hands were in front of the ball. To me, it was easy. But
no, his hand was on the side of the ball. And if you look at it from the back, it looks like it hit his leg. And Stephen Tao said, what's the point of replay? To correct the mistakes called on the field. You can't definitively say that was a mistake. That's the point. It's one thing when you watch the ball bounce, because I'll go ahead and tell you, I watched that from the backside about 10 times. I couldn't definitively tell you it wasn't pinned to his leg. I know his hand was under the right side of it. I know that much definitively. I know the ball's not going to bend, and it looked like the tip of the ball was on his leg. If that's the case, then okay, it touched the field. I don't care. It's pinned to his leg. It's on his hand. He had control of it. You can't overturn that. So,
yeah, I still don't believe that was a touchdown.
I keep saying that Dez caught it. Dez did fucking catch it.
Of course he did.
I think we all universally know that.
And we screamed it from high heavens when it happened.
And if I don't know if I knew you when that happened.
I don't think we did, but but when this show was on Saturdays, we screamed about it.
I was on Twitter going, "This is going to be incomplete." The rules are the rules, and when you listen to the now for me, this is why. To me, if there's a question, you call it incomplete. If there's a question, you call it incomplete because then you don't. It has to be clear for you to reverse it. But that's too hard for an official that was standing from here to the parking lot away from this call. That's the part that drives me nuts. Is that we have 48 officials, and the guy that has to throw his hands up is 25 solid yards away from this play.
Baltimore won the game with the heroics of Mark Andrews. Catching underthrown ball after underthrown ball. And here's the thing. Lamar Jackson, he can't be protected. They just were not protecting him last night. He was running all over the field. And that's why he kept underthrowing his receivers, is because he's doing that thing that he did so well and won a Heisman Trophy for at Louisville. He's able to, run backwards 25 yards and heave it to a guy that can get himself underneath the ball.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is he is a grown ass.
That one-handed catch.
Man.
Oh my God!
I still can't figure out how in the world you could do that. That's kind of like when I was in high school. We had a guy that played on our baseball team that could catch a fly ball in his hat. I never figured out how you could have the hand-eye coordination to do that.
Right.
That's just mind-boggling to me.
Right.
Mark Andrews is insane. The Cleveland Browns, you've been figured out. Sorry about it.
Yeah,
you've been figured out. Dial up cover 0 blitzes on every play. Baker can't beat it. Oh, Baker had 247 yards. Cool. How many points that put up? That's what I thought.
Yep. Baltimore is still atop the AFC right now, but I don't think they're the favorite anymore. I really don't.
It is hard for me. In the NFC, it's easy for me to say the Packers are the favorite. I don't know who the favorite is in the AFC.
I think it's the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know you're going to call me crazy.
It was something I'm calling you crazy. I had them at 2 of the power rankings last week. I just think it's putting the cart before the horse. If I had to pick a team, here's the thing. I don't have to say somebody's a favorite. So I can just very easily say there ain't one.
I'm going to tell you, to me, I am going to, gun to my head, pick the favorite for the AFC right now, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm actually pretty convinced of it. Because Baltimore they have these games. They have these games where Lamar can't be protected and they got to get bailed out by somebody. And they do it. Give them all the credit in the world. They find somebody will step up, either Mark Andrews or Marquise Brown, or somebody's going to step up and make the play. And they'll get more wins than their record's pretty damn good right now. And then you got the New England Patriots, who I can't believe in. I get that you just shellacked Tennessee, but that's a Tennessee with no weapons. I saw the Jets beat that team.
Well,
I don't care.
And here's the thing: you're talking about Kansas City. Here would be my argument: you very easily could have lost to the Giants.
Could have.
You struggle like hell with the Jordan Love led Green Bay Packers, who I could argue that's 2 of the 5 worst teams in the league. Yeah, you blew out the Raiders. If Deshaun Jackson doesn't fumble on the 10-yard line, I could argue it's a completely different game. And then you beat the Cowboys with no receivers. I have more of an actual body of work with the Ravens than I do the Chiefs. And I can argue I have more of a body of work with the New England Patriots than I do with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. Is there another game this year the Kansas City Chiefs won't be favored in?
You're going to tell me I'm wrong.
If you say the Raiders, you're wrong.
It's at the Bengals.
Oh, okay.
At the Bengals, they will not be favored. And if
Cincinnati
they are, that
1.
line will move. Well, by then you might have won 8 in a row. They might be favored in that game.
Yeah.
They won't be for me. I just go ahead and tell you. I get your defense and I get Cincinnati's. Okay, that's fine. Let me see a team with a full assimilation of weapons against that dog shit defense that I've seen. You didn't fix that quickly. There's still some porous seams in that. My only you can say 5 teams are the favorite in the AFC. I can't tell you you're wrong. For me, it's very easy to just go, you know what? There's several.
Yeah.
There's several favorites. I don't have to pick one. There's no gun. There's no head. There's no none of that shit.
And are they a completely flawless team? No, we've already seen what they can be.
No, but I'll tell you this: that with Wink Martindale, that defense is. I'm seeing things out of that defense that I haven't seen before. And I'm saying it was against Baker Mayfield. I get that. They had the balls to go, we're going to put 8 in the box, and you do what you do. Marlon Humphrey's going to do his thing. Chuck Clark's going to do his thing. And I just look at it and go, that's the sign of a good defense. And I think that defense is getting better. That's where I'm at.
There is a real possibility that Kansas City could be the one. And I think they got to be the favorite right now. Just looking at their schedules, I think their schedule's easier than Baltimore's. Baltimore could easily pick up 3 losses and end up being the 2.
And here's the thing, the schedule doesn't really matter to me. I don't care who you play. I care if you played each other, what would happen. And right now, I don't know that either one of you could stop the other, but my defense is better than yours.
Yeah. You got a point there. Anyhow, all right, that's Week 12 in a nutshell. We will have more this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, the Sportsocracy, every afternoon at 3 o'clock. Tune back in here. We'll talk more about Cam Newton. We'll talk more about everything that happened in the NFL over the weekend. We'll talk about all that college football with Lincoln Riley getting a new job, with, who else was it? Well, you had
Billy Napier.
Billy Napier getting hired at Florida.
Yeah, I had that 6 days ago.
Jeremy believes that the next head coach
Virginia Tech's Jamie
Virginia
Chadwell.
Tech is going to be Jamie Chadwell.
The next head coach at Virginia Tech is Jamie Chadwell.
We'll get into all of it, college football playoff talk and more, coming up this afternoon. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe as well, join the House of Reprehensibles, share the videos out with all of your friends, as we want to grow the community just as much as you do. And we'll be back with you this afternoon at 3. We'll see you next time.